Sorry about that, guys. All right, we are back. Minor details. First day on the job here on the Brady Games stream, and had some minor audio issues. First off, welcome to the Brady Games channel. If you guys aren't familiar, Brady Games, of course, makes the official Ultra Street Fighter 4 frame data app, as well as all kinds of strategy guides for different games, including Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, all this other stuff throughout the years. So basically, they are now starting to stream, and so they asked me to produce some Street Fighter stuff for you guys. So, of course, as you guys all know, yes, it is a hospital bracelet. I escaped from the mental hospital yesterday, but don't tell anybody. So, yeah, as you guys know, of course, Evo was this weekend, and we have a brand new world champion. Luffy from France took home the gold for all of us Rose players everywhere. Now, as I'm sure you guys are well aware, prior to this weekend, Rose was not considered, super high tier. I think everybody, myself included, was of the mind that, characters like Yoon and Fei Long and Evil Ryu were some of the best characters in the game. Unfortunately, only one of those proved to be true, with, of course, Fudo playing Fei Long getting third place, losing to Luffy, and who else? I don't even know. It doesn't even matter who Fudo lost to, because what does matter was that Luffy came through in the clutch and represented for Rose players everywhere. Now, I'm sure we'll get into all this stuff. We got about 2 hours to fill here. So what I thought that we would do, since I myself am a Rose player and have been struggling and failing pretty hard since 2010 with her, but now there are no more excuses for me, because clearly the character can exist at the top. So no more excuses for me or for any of you other Rose players out there, because clearly it can be done, and Luffy showed us how it is done. So what we're going to do today, or at least what we're going to start with, is I wanted to go through and analyze the Luffy top 8 matches from the from Evo. So he fought, correct me if I'm wrong, but on his way to the top of the mountain, he fought Momochi, who tried his hardest with Juri and then Ken. And then he fought, you know what? I don't even know who he fought. All I know is that he destroyed many a Fei Long. Yeah. I remember now. He beat Gak from Singapore, who's also playing Fei Long, and then he beat and then he beat Fudo, and then he beat Bonchan. So basically, Juri, Ken, Fei Long, and Sagat. The thing about Luffy's win, of course, is that what you guys may or may not know is that the universe, or specifically Europe, has been preparing Luffy for this weekend for his entire Street Fighter 4 career. Players like Starnab, Alioun, Reinhardt all have gone toe-to-toe with Luffy in grand finals, playing characters like Fei Long and Sagat. So I would say that Luffy had more experience fighting those particular matchups in top 8 of Evo than any of the other players had fighting a high-level Rose. So to me, people didn't really know, and the Japanese completely underestimated Luffy, because I don't think they realized that the matchups that Luffy was fighting in top 8 were some of the ones that he was strongest against. If you go through Luffy's bracket and who he beat on the top, man, there's just a string of Fei Longs, man. Luffy is the Fei Long killer. And of course, you know, with Reinhardt playing Scott over the years, Luffy was extremely familiar with that matchup. But dude, Bonchan, Fudo, when you watch it back, and we'll go through it, you can just see that Fudo was the only one that even had like kind of a little idea of how to fight Rose, and we'll get into that in a second. So, first off, let me switch over to. And if I got this wrong, then just let me know, guys. Oops. But we're gonna start with Momochi versus Luffy. So give me 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Let me turn down this Street Fighter stuff in this window. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch some of these matches, and then we're gonna go into training mode with the characters, and then see not just why Luffy was able to do what he did, but also maybe what some of the other characters could have done in various situations. So let's take a look. Okay, so at this range, and this was actually kind of giving me a little bit of a minor heart attack, because Jury is actually able to just sit back and build meter without Rose really being able to do anything. You know, she just throws the fireballs, but doesn't. She does the fireball motion, but holds the button so that she doesn't actually release it. So look how fast she's building meter right there. But it actually doesn't really matter in this instance. Because Rose has a really comfortable life lead, and is completely comfortable with sitting back and sitting on this lead, reflecting fireballs here and there. And also, you'll notice one thing that I noticed about Luffy was that he activates Ultra 2 immediately after he gets it. And you can see right there. One thing I would like to point out actually is that here, let me load up Rose and Jury in training mode. One question that I've had other people ask me that when I've played them is like, wait a minute, like, how did I get sucked into that, right? Here, let's switch right here. So,
are you ready?
Oh, hold on, let me turn this down just a little bit. Okay. So one thing that players that are not too familiar with Rose get confused about is why they get sucked in when Rose activates Ultra 2. So right now when we activate, you'll see that the orbs are rotating clockwise, but if we do this and then we jump over, oops, okay, here, hold on. You know what? Here, hold on. Let's do this. Okay, now I'm on the other side, and so we saw when I'm on the left side and I activate that that the orbs just spin clockwise, but now you'll notice when I'm on this side, the orbs spin counterclockwise. And now that they're spinning counterclockwise, now Jury gets pulled in. So what that means is that one of the viable strategies with Rose is to try to switch sides. So when Jury was jumping, here, let me set her to jump. I'll just try to briefly recreate this situation. Okay, so he activates, and then she's jumping. Now the orbs are going clockwise. Now they're going counterclockwise. Now, I'm just gonna set her to to block. And then now you'll see that she gets pulled in. So that's just one little thing that players who are not familiar with Rose sometimes get stuck on. So let's take a look at the match again. Okay, so pretty good first round for Luffy. Also, he starts the second round with a full bar, with a bar and a half meter lead, which is pretty big. And also, you'll notice that one of the things that I noticed about Luffy was that he's super tight with his meter. And now you'll see. Okay, so now Momochi has done 2 EX pinwheels, which cost him 2 bars. Meanwhile, Luffy has almost a full bar. And you'll notice that he plays extremely tight with his meter and only uses his meter basically on drill into super. That's definitely something that I personally need to work on with my game. And, we'll see how this round plays out and see if it comes back to bite Momochi in the butt that he didn't use, that he used his meters on 2 EX pinwheels. Oh, that was so sick. Okay. So that actually was pretty cool because he used the EX drill to put himself forward to catch Momochi while he was still in the air. That's pretty hard to do. So now he's almost within, now he's definitely within chip damage. Oh, I don't know why he did that. But it doesn't even really matter. Just so we can go back and look. Okay, so with full super, this is how much chip damage it actually does. So he was within chip damage, but I don't think he really realized it. Oops. Oops. What? And okay, sure. Granted, like once you're at once you're close to death, actually, of course, you know that there is damage scaling. So it wouldn't actually do that much damage that you see right there on top. But as you can see, it does do a nice chunk of damage. So anyways, let's go back to the match. Yeah, Johnny MN says saving meter for super has been Rose's game plan since vanilla. Yeah, that's true, but to be perfectly honest, man, like there's a lot of instances in which EX drill and EX fireball or even EX reflect seem like they're really useful. Sometimes you need to you can FADC and get some more damage, but definitely in retrospect, looking at the way that Luffy was playing and the way that he won, saving super for meter is something that's so important for Rose. And now now I gotta go back and I gotta rethink the way that I play this game. And Yuns and Roses says, I don't recall Luffy doing Wake Up EX Spiral a lot during Evo. That's a good point too. So the reason for that is that EX Spiral is now no longer throw invincible. So it has more hit invincibility, but you can actually throw out of it quite easily. So it's really bad on Wake Up. Okay, so now let's get into game 2. And keep in mind, these guys are playing 3 out of 5 instead of the standard 2 out of 3. It was 2 out of 3 all the way to top 8. So now, Momochi actually is not going as hard on building meter with those fireballs. Luffy takes an early advantage. Okay, so now with such a big, look at all that life, with such a big advantage, now he can just sit back and build meter for the next round and not worry as much. Oh, what happened here? Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. Okay, so now you'll notice every time, as soon as he gets meter, he activates. And this was actually a heartbreaker. You'll see that he activated and then Jury's EX Fireball dissipated both orbs. So that's kind of a bummer. But luckily, since Luffy has so much more life left, he's certainly going to get another Ultra 2 before the round ends. And he's got the meter advantage. So, a lot of Rose players such as myself, probably tend to go in too hard in these sort of situations. Wow, look at that, was some sweet damage right there. Oh my gosh, such a sick finish. I mean, Momochi really couldn't. It was such an even, close match up until that very moment where he ran in and then hit the jumping fierce into the EX dive kick. But now, Luffy is not shaken, as you can see, and he starts the second round with full bar. So now, what Momochi wants to do is he wants to build up as much meter as possible. Okay, now for some reason, and you really didn't see it throughout the rest of the match, but Luffy, that was really the only time I saw Luffy use his EX bar like that. And I'm just going, I don't know for sure, but this is just something for us to think about, right? If your opponent burns all his meter in the first round to kill you, and you start the second round with full bar in the same way that Luffy did, there's not a whole lot that you can really do with your super at the beginning of the round aside from like landing it. And so let's say that he did like crouching medium punch into drill into super. That's going to do like this much, but it's really not going to do like game changing damage. And so I think that in that situation, what Luffy was doing is he was burning his meter on those EX fireballs because they were just opportunities to do extra damage, not really to land the super. Because at the beginning, it doesn't really help you that much, and then you're going to be out of bar anyways. And I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to keep pace with Momochi's meter while still being conscious of his life lead. Okay, so now they're both even on meter again. He's catching him hitting buttons. Hits him with the throw, and now starts the third round with a nice meter advantage as well. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. All right. Anyways, so we're back, and okay. So now he activates again as soon as he activates super, and catches Momochi doing the EX pinwheel again on wake up, which is extremely risky for Jury. And it's really not safe to be throwing those fireballs from that range because Jury can just EX dive kick. But now, wow, wake up standing medium punch. Unexpected. Kind of lucky. I think he got kind of lucky right there with that focus. And then catches. He makes Momochi crack. And does a wake up ultra. Oh my gosh, the crowd goes wild. And now, this is where Momochi really had to think about it, It's really interesting, too, because when I talked with Luffy before Top 8 started, I said, hey, man, are you ready? Like, who do you think he's going to play? Because, really, like, of the characters that Momochi plays, Ken, Jury, Cody, in my opinion, Cody owns Rose free. But I think Momochi has not really been playing Cody at all. So... yeah, it was really, and Luffy actually thought that he was going to go Ken the entire way. I played the Jury Rose matchup not too long ago, man, and I actually think Rose wins it. So I think this was definitely a case of Momochi being unfamiliar with fighting Rose. And I think at this point, Luffy was actually a little bit nervous that he was fighting Ken, but because Momochi's been playing mostly Ken, which is why at the beginning I think he missed a few of the reflex. But, he regains his composure, sits back, plays lame, doesn't go in too hard. And you'll see, even now, I mean, he's got 3/4 of his life left and gets his first ultra because Momochi is sitting back throwing fireballs. Like, dude, you cannot throw fireballs like that against Rose at the beginning of the round when she has no... when you have no meter, because Rose relies so much on her meter. And you'll notice that in that instance when she activated Ultra, she was in the corner and walked him all the way back to his corner. It's ridiculous. And this is something that players who don't have a lot of Rose experience do, is They see Rose activate orbs and then they back away. And you'll see later that Fudo actually didn't do that at all. Okay, so now here's a huge error, right? Burns his super because he wasn't able to confirm, but still manages to maintain composure and keep the pressure on, because one of the things to consider in this situation, I don't know what happened. I don't actually know if he blocked the wrong way or if he was still in recovery of the orbs, because the thing with the orbs is that now they have an extra 2 frames of recovery. And that was unfortunate too, that he burned all that meter at the end. But either way, like, Luffy's still doing really well, and he's building up so much extra focus. Extra ultra meter. Oh wow, that's such a sick dash in. But he's building so much extra ultra meter, focusing all of these random Ken attacks, and Momoshi's just sitting back throwing fireballs, and you just don't get a lot from that, from as a Shoto character, right? Like, as if we go back, let me turn off infinite super, and then we'll restart. You just really cannot play the fireball game with Rose, right? Because if she reflects, actually, okay, here, let me show you how much meters she builds, right? So you throw a fireball, 1. Basically, I threw 6 fireballs and I have a bar, right? Now with Jury, and actually, you know what? Let's restart, and then let's see how much Rose gets from the reflect. Okay, so look at that, right? As you can see, Rose gets about half a bar from absorbing 1 fireball, and it only took her like 6 fireballs to build up a bar by herself, right? So let me set Jury back. Now, if I absorb 1 fireball, now I have half a bar. Now let's see. Now let me set Jury block. Okay, she is on block. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So from absorbing 1 fireball and then throwing 3 fireballs, Rose has an extra bar. So you really don't want to be throwing fireballs against Rose, especially in the neutral game. The only time that fireballs become more dangerous against Rose is if you're going to throw an EX fireball, because she has to use one of her bars on EX reflect in order to deflect it, because if she just tries to absorb it, she'll get hit. So when you see Momochi, Bonchan, I think those are the only ones that he played with fireballs, but you see those guys throwing fireballs in the neutral game, that's how you know that these guys did not know the match at all. Okay, so now Luffy's got his first ultra bar, and he's still got 80% of his health. I'm actually surprised he hasn't used it yet. But maybe, okay, so now he uses it, and now let's see if he walks him back to the corner. Look how much screen he gets. And you know, obviously Rose doesn't want to be in the corner, and that's just like him getting out of the corner for free, just from that ultra. And he still is grinding the clock, playing super lame, building meter on those blocked medium punches. Okay, and then finally he uses his EX drill, which goes through fireballs. Let's actually, okay, after this round, then we'll take a look at EX Soul Spiral through the fireballs. Wow, look at that. Wow, this guy. You just cannot be jumping like that when she has Ultra 2 here. Let me switch to Ken. Okay, for let's see, Jedhawk. Sorry to repeat, not sure if my message made it. Why does Luffy not use a W Ultra? Okay. So, in this situation, you know, W Ultra reduces the damage that both Ultras do I think for Rose, actually, let me check.
Are you
Let me
ready?
check the numbers real quick. Give me 1 second. I'll bring it up. I'll tell you in a second what the damage reduction is for using W Ultra. Okay. So, Ultra scaling. Okay, so when she's using W Ultra, the scaling is 60%. Now, let's just look and see what each one does. One. Whoops. Gotta turn off all block. Yeah, so it looks like the orbs will do 120 each. So 60% of 120 is, what is that, like 72? Yeah. Anyways, so instead of doing 120, she's getting 72 damage. And to be honest, in this instance, like, I don't really see... Like, Rose is not getting that much damage from it. So, in some instances, like, I guess you could say that it might be better to use W, but I only use double when I'm playing a grappler just because Ultra 1 shuts him down. But honestly, the damage reduction is so bad, it makes it not even worth it. Okay, so now let's go through, let's take a look at EX Soul Spiral. Okay, so for those that aren't familiar, Rose's EX Soul Spiral now has 13 frames of invincibility, whereas before it had 11. Now that 2 frames may not sound like that big of a deal, however, now it makes it extremely easy to go through fireballs, and you'd actually be surprised how much range you can really get. So, oops, I have no bar. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me just absorb. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 reflects. I already have 2 bars. Okay. Actually, let me move Ken over. Just so we have, like, we have him on the little halfway marker. Okay. So, you can see now that Ken is about, he's just a little bit to the right of the halfway point on the screen. So let's see if we can find the max distance that Rose can do EX Soul Spiral through the fireball and still hit Ken. Wow, look at that. Oh shit, you know what I should have done? Should have enabled memory. Okay, let me bring this guy back here. Ah, why does that not work like that? I don't understand. Whatever. Anyways, so you can see, even from all the way back there. So she gets a lot of mileage out of EX Soul Spiral. Oops, I forgot to turn it back on. Oops. Alright, here we go. Look how far that is. So, as you can see, okay, so that's about the max distance. Almost 2 full training mode squares. So with him all the way in the corner, I should be able to stand right here. Look at that. That's like over half screen that you can't throw a fireball. Look, finally I traded one. So that was part of the reason that I was using, previously, I was using EX Soul Spiral on going through fireballs. Now I see that there is a time and place for it, but I was still burning too much meter on it before. Alright, and so, yeah, you see Luffy going for the counter hit hop kick. That's also really good. And you'll notice also, after the back throw, he doesn't do anything. Filipino man who's a really good Rose player from here in SoCal. Pretty sure he made it into top 32, maybe even top 16. But oftentimes you'll see him go for the back throw. I don't even see this. What even happened right there? Hold on, let's take a look at this in a. Let's watch this back throw. Okay, so typically after that back throw, Filipino man will do something like this, and this is something that I think is really good. But I think Luffy is a much more conservative Rose player. So what he'll do is he'll go like this, and he'll like hop kick to see, and it's like an ambiguous. You're like on some characters, maybe not Ken, but on some characters it is kind of an ambiguous cross up, and you have to kind of guess and see which way they have to block. I must be doing it wrong, but either way, like you can either do that or you can just like jump in empty jump low. Oops. Something like that, or you can do jump and then throw. But Luffy was not doing any of that at all. Luffy was like, well, you know what? Let's just play it safe, and we'll just sit back and build some more bar. Interested to see what happens at the end right here after he activates. Man, you didn't even really see it, but I think it's totally possible for Luffy to actually get 3 Ultra 2s in one round. He got counter hit on that. So I have no idea what Mochi tried to do right there, but it didn't work. All right, guys. So let's see. Where are we at right now? I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in a few minutes. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to try to load up the next match. So sit tight, and we will be back in just a second. All right, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining us here on the Brady Games Twitch channel. My name is Gootecks, and if you guys are just joining us, I've been going through some of Luffy's matches that he went through in top 8 of Evo this weekend to become the world champion of Street Fighter. Before the break, we were taking a look at Momochi versus Luffy. Now let's take a look at Gak versus Luffy, who is playing. Gak is a Singapore player who made it into top 8 for the first time. He was playing Fei Long. Unfortunately, it seemed like Gak really did not know the match. But let's take a look. Oops. Buttons. All right, here we go. So, Luffy knows the Fei Long matchup so well, probably from fighting Starnab, also from France, in a lot of tournaments over the years. So let's take a look. You can see that Luffy is trying to stay at the mid range because a lot of her pokes will beat Fei Long's. He's not going to try to throw a lot of fireballs because the recovery on her fireball is so long. Plus, once he gets meter, he can EX Chicken Wing through quite easily. Wow, really early time to go for the command throw, I would say. But now he'll back off, activate Ultra, and then we'll see what Gak does. You'll see that he just kind of sits there and blocks. Gets the crouching medium kick to blow up the orbs. Now somehow, wow, that's so hard to do, man. Or at least I think it's hard to do. You know what? Let's test it right now. I'm actually quite curious because here, let's watch that again. How did he even set that up? Okay, I still think that was an early time to go for the command throw. Okay, so he activates. He's got a pretty. Gak has such a big life lead, but hitting a button after the slide, that's what got him hit right there. Okay, now Luffy backs off. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right, hold on. Let's see if that's actually as hard as it looks. Because he was standing about right here. Okay, he was like right here. Huh. Okay. I guess that's actually not that hard. Oh, okay, you have to you have to use EX though. Unless you do it really early. If you do EX, then you can do it really late. I guess it's not that hard. Whoops. It's actually not that hard if you know it's coming. If you were, let's say, familiar with the Fei Long matchup. Alright, look at that. So I guess if you're like, oh yeah, come at me Fei Long, and then you're just like, nope. It's pretty sick if you can smell it coming. Alright, let's go.
That is gonna stick with him.
Scarred for life. Yeah, yeah, he baited him out with the medium punch reflect because I think Gak thought he was going to throw a fireball. Alright, so now second round, I think Gak is a little flustered and Luffy's playing so well, playing so lame. Uses 1 bar on his EX drill, but he's going to build it back up by throwing a couple of fireballs. Take a little damage. Now he might as well have full bar again. If he gets crouching medium into drill, into super, that'll bring him really close to death. Back away, activate. Let's see what Gak does. He's holding his ground, and which is pretty good. That's exactly what a Rose player does not want you to do. When she activates orbs is to hold your ground. And I think at this point, Gak was just really flustered. And Luffy just took advantage by just continuing to hit her good buttons and sliding. Let's take a look at the frame data on the slide. You can check out the Brady Games frame data app for both iOS and Android. Let's see what it says. All right, we got Rose.
A lot of these characters, such as Rose, such as Dawson, such as Chun-Li, they base their gameplay on annoying you. I don't even mean that in a mean way.
Slide is -6 on block,
Because the more
just so you know. But of course, if you hit the slide with the tip, she's not going to be -6. She's basically going to be safe.
Wow, and threatening like he's gonna slide, but not doing it. Oh,
Wow, nice backdash in the corner.
saw that little hop. Yeah, that's what the backdash looks like when you're already cornered, and it does render you briefly invulnerable, which got fair.
Okay, so Luffy's got the meter advantage. He's up 1 game, 1 round. They are playing first to 3. And Luffy's using a lot more crouching medium kick
Again, that dash forward, you can smell
in this particular matchup. Look at that.
gonna dash right underneath.
That's just at a really tough range for Faye. Of course, if he jumps, she can easily anti-air with crouching heavy punch. That drill right there is basically safe. Here, let me test that. Let me switch to Fei Long and load that up, and then we'll see what Fei Long can. At what distance Fei Long could have like reversaled with Rekka. Wow, he gets hit by the second orb again. Oh, finishes him with the super.
Oh, Razor back on his heels.
Mind Power says he's buffering EX Spiral into the crouching medium kicks. So, hold on. We'll look through that in a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me pause this. Whoops.
Representing Singapore to this point.
Okay. Okay, so that's heavy drill. And heavy drill is, let me see. Heavy drill is -4. So I think that means that would just make her completely safe. Okay, so what that means is that he has to punish with crouching light punch. He can't just reversal Rekka. There you go. Whoops, too slow. Okay, now let me try. If you do medium or EX Spiral, that's actually -6. So let's see if that 2 frames makes a difference. Yes, it does. It's actually a lot easier to punish. But you can't just reversal Rekka. Okay, now let's try light kick. Because light kick is -8. Okay, now let's see if he can just reversal Rekka. Yep. But what if I'm farther away? Then what? Like, let's say here. Oops, here. Yeah. So from max range, he can kind of reversal with Rekka, but it's still better to just do crouching light punch. And it's actually pretty easy. So what that means is that doing the heavy kick spiral from max range is actually going to be pretty safe against Faye. Because even, I mean, I might not have the distances super perfect, but I mean, dude, this is the best that you're gonna be able to get in a real match. Okay, so let's get back to the match.
In the largest Street Fighter tournament in the history of the planet, Evolution 2014. Let's see what he's got.
Oh, beautiful combo
Oh, nice little counter hit combo by Gact.
Pushing his way out.
Wow. I don't know if that was a card throw or what, but I really like how he got out of the corner instead of going for something right there. And you can see after that he missed his opportunity to do down fair spiral into super. Now you'll see Gak doing his best to hold his ground right there, which is exactly what Rose doesn't want. Oh, wow. Caught him hitting a button. Full super right there. You'll notice, okay, after the super hits, wow. Dude, that was pretty convincing. Gak wasn't even salty, man. Oh man, I was so proud of Gak for getting into top 8, man. It was so good. Let's see what happened. Where was he? Here we go. Oh, come on, Twitch.
And a great empty jump from Gat. And here comes the soul orange activation.
All right, let's watch this again and see what happens. Okay, so after he hits super, now take a look, right? So Fei Long has 2.5 bars and full ultra. Rose has no super, no ultra. Now, more inexperienced players might be tempted to just try to walk up and try to chip Fei Long or try to attack or do something. But the thing is, what you have to take into consideration in this particular scenario is that there's way more that can go wrong than can really go right in this particular instance, right? Because what's the best thing that can happen, right? Is you need 2 entire situations with Rose in order to chip out Fei Long. So here, let's take a look, right? How can we do this? Oh, okay, I know. So it looks like he's got about like 4% left, 3%, maybe 3 or 4% left on his health bar. Now, what can Rose? What do you think What do you think Rose might be able to do? Maybe. Oops. Sorry. 1 second. Maybe she can do crouching medium punch into soul spiral, right? Let's let this life rebuild back and then see how much that really does. Oops. Okay, so you can see that does. You look it up at Fei Long's bar, and then you look at Fei Long's bar here, and you can just kind of compare. So he would need to have done that, I believe, 2 times. Let's take a look. Actually, he would have need to have. Okay, compare that. So he did it to her twice, and she did it to him twice. Now look at Fei Long's health bar, right? So he's only like 2% has been taken off in chip damage. Now let's look and see how much Gact had. So he would have had to have done it 3 times. Now you might ask yourself, well, what if Fei Long just decides to like go crazy and get some kind of lucky hit? But the thing is, in this situation, there was a lot that Fei Long could have done in order to prevent the chip damage. Let's say that he only needed to do crouching medium into drill twice in order to chip him out, right? But let's see what Fei Long could have actually done. Hold on, can I actually do it? Man. Let me see if I can do it. Gosh. There we go. Finally. I knew I knew he could do that. It's just that he didn't. In that situation, obviously it's really hard to land something like that. But that just goes to show that crouching medium into drill is not a true block string. So let's take a look at that. And so that's why in this situation it was best for Luffy to not really try to finish him off too quickly and just try to kill him off slowly. Because the other thing to take into consideration is there's still the timer that you have to worry about. So let's see what he does. He doesn't attack, but he stays close enough to him to, you know, he doesn't attack him on wake up, because if Gak would have done uppercut FADC Ultra, like, that would have done a huge chunk of damage. But he let him get up, even though he stayed in his face, and killed him with crouching medium punch after letting him get up and not putting himself at risk of getting uppercut FADC Ultra.
And Luffy says there will be no repeat victory for
Sway0990 says, from close distance it's a block string, but if the spacing is wrong, then there's a hole. Okay, perfect. That makes perfect sense. Which is why I couldn't do it up close.
England's doing their own thing. But
So that's good. Now I know.
from Europe, broadly considered, and also not necessarily.
But, you know, typically if you were going to hit crouching medium into Soul Spiral, you're trying to do it. You're actually trying to do it as far away as possible. But I guess now I know from one hit away, it's actually a true block string. So thank you for that.
Oh, but he missed it. He didn't leave. He didn't.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a quick break again, and I'm gonna load up the next match, and I'll be back in a few minutes. So sit tight, guys. All right, guys, we are back, and if you guys are just joining us, I'm going through all of, well, as many matches as we can get through, as many matches of Luffy's run in top 8 of EVO this past weekend on his run to becoming world champion with Rose. Wow, I don't think I've ever, those words have never been said before. But anyways, thanks for joining us here on the Brady Games Twitch channel. If you like what you see, then please do me a favor and hit the follow button below, and also hit up Brady Games on Twitter and myself on Twitter actually, and tell us what you want to see more of. So the next match is this. I gotta be honest, man. If there was one match that I thought for sure Luffy was gonna lose, it was this match with Snake Eyes. Because Snake Eyes plays Filipino man who's also from Wednesday Night Fights quite often. And as a Rose player, this match is, oh my god, this match sucks. It hurts so much. But man, spoiler alert, Luffy wins. Let's take a look. And let me know if you guys can still hear the audio on the game. And so this match actually is interesting because he switched to Ultra 1 instead of using Ultra 2. And you'll notice actually that in this particular match, Luffy uses a whole different set of normals. And he's using the forward and heavy kick and crouching light kick, as well as sweep. The reason why he's going for sweep a lot against Zangief is because if you get the sweep, you get a free fireball, as you can see right there. And the only thing that he can really do is EX Green Hand. and he's trying to fake him out with crouching light kick to really confuse him on the distance. But as you can see, standing heavy kick and forward heavy kick and crouching heavy kick is what is getting him the damage. Wow. Oh, it's so sick, man. I'm actually curious to see if that combo is easy or hard to hit on Zangief. Okay.
Are you ready? Fight!
Okay. So, I believe because Geef is fat, he has a wide hitbox. He was able to hit that combo pretty easily, whereas with other characters who are thinner, that combo is kind of hard if you're doing it at close range. In fact, I don't even know if it works on everybody at close range, because you have to. It works every time on counter hit, but it is kind of difficult on the thinner characters if you're at close range. But it's actually a little bit easier to do on Geef. And at least you can, you have enough time to confirm it. But hey, I mean, that's okay, let's take a look. And you can see he starts off by doing a lot of crouching light kicks again. Wow! Okay, all right, hold on. I started screaming in my seats when I saw that because I've actually never seen that before. Hold on. Let me rewind that and see what he jumped in with, because I've actually never seen that used as anti-air like that before, and I lost it when I saw that. It was crazy. Oh, okay, no wonder. Well, still, honestly, like, he didn't hit a button, so it didn't really matter. But I still thought it was pretty crazy. No wonder it worked. Look at that. 210 damage off of an empty jump. Now let's see what would have happened if he would have jumped in with different buttons. Because now I'm curious. I would say that's Zangief's most reliable jump in, which is jumping medium kick. Let's try that again. Oh. Wow, dude. As long as you can see it. Man, I'm definitely switching up my the way that I approach this matchup now. It never occurred to me to use even on the trade you get it. Look at that, that's crazy. Okay, now let me try and see. Let me see what happens if he does splash. See if that's any different. Actually, you would probably not even see that. You'd probably be more likely to do that one, which is jumping heavy punch. You can't really do anything. Unless you're like kind of near the corner. Nah, even from that distance, like, it still kind of sucks. Wow. Okay. Well, you can do that. That's pretty good. Or that. No bar. Pretty good. 160 damage if you can see it. Man. Alright. Well, this is why we're doing this, right, guys? Okay. Let's see what happened after that. And then you'll see at that point he's forced to block the fireball. Otherwise, he would have to spend one of his bars. Snake Eyes plays pretty conservative with his meter. And he's... ooh, okay, there we go. Yeah, Snake Eyes has such good footsies. Wow, but the backdash just saved him.
Chase down the backdash, like I said. Rose's backdash so fast, so far.
Getting a lot of mileage out of those standing heavy kicks. Now this is where it gets very dangerous because he is going for sweep a lot, and sweep has such long recovery. This is actually what I lost this match. This is how I got eliminated. I lost to Stupendous in losers finals of my pool, and I actually got killed because I was doing sweep and he did jump in ultra. It was so terrible. The balls on this guy to just run up and try to throw Zangief. Okay, let's see what happens right here. Oh, caught him hitting a button.
The throw. This time he dashed forward and saved it for the end of the round when it would give him the kill.
That was so smart. He got paid off by setting up first position in mind of his opponent, and then going into the
All right,
scenario yet again. Really stellar.
let's see. Getting quite a lot of mileage off of that. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna pause this. And let's take a look because I guess I just didn't know about here, let me start this from the beginning. I guess I just didn't know how forward heavy kick was so good. But here, you know what? I'm just gonna do this over and over and see what he whoops. See what he does.
It's the battle of the century. Fight!
Okay, so he could do regular green hand. He did.
Who will emerge a champion? Fight!
Okay, I think he can just do green hand. Whoa!
The battle has begun. Fight!
Huh, interesting. So he hit me with green hand, he hit me with SPD. Huh. Wow. Hit me with running bear grab, hit me with SPD, hit me with green hand. Oh, lariat trades.
Who will emerge a champion? Fight!
Does anybody know if green hand has invincibility?
Who will emerge a champion? Fight!
Or if it's just projectile invincibility? Whoa. All right. Anyways, where were we? All right. So Luffy is up one game. Tough match. Definitely throwing Snake Eyes off his game. You know, Snake Eyes is used to just being a bully and just walking you to the corner. Okay, here's some good damage right here. Now, he gets away with the backdash and then hits the Ultra too late. The Ultra starts up 2 frames faster, Ultra 1 does, but it actually still kind of sucks. But I guess it is good in this matchup.
Smart for Snake Eyes not even to use the EX version. Knew that the light one would just kill.
Luffy knows he's not going to slip away from him there. Sideways on.
Alright, so now, you know, Rose really doesn't want to throw fireballs at this range because Zangief can do EX Green Hand. And with 2 bars and up 1 game, I think, you know, it's pretty. It would be a good idea for Snake Eyes to use the meter if he can see it.
Has been full of tears from everybody winning their games. The emotions have been running high here at Evolution.
But you know, he is walking him to the corner, and you can see that Snake Eyes is going for that standing light kick into EX Green Hand option select. So we'll see what happens right here. Wow, gets lucky with that throw. Very dangerous. Still very dangerous with those sweeps. You know, like I said, Keith can definitely just jump in and ultra because the recovery on the sweep is so long. Oh my gosh. He should have died.
Has not worked on Snake Eyes since that last round.
There's no way he's going to win this. Okay, yeah. All right, good. I don't know if he just. I think at that point he thought that Snake Eyes was gonna backdash. If he would have backdashed, he would have gotten caught with the ultra.
One, and you can see the concern on Luffy's face. He's wondering what happened.
You see Luffy thinking about things right there.
By pure domination in that first game to Snake Eyes winning 2 rounds in a row like that.
Getting some advice from one of his Frenchmen brethren. Oh man, that sucks. That's that short jump that Zangief has, and he can whiff it, and then your crouching heavy punch whiffs. So that sucks. All right, so now this is still, in my opinion, very dangerous for Rose to be throwing fireballs at that distance, because Geef can just green hand through it. But he really hasn't done it at all. And I think Luffy is trying to get him to prove that he will do it. Or see, there, finally, that's the first EX green hand that he does. And then he does another one. So he's got a really good life lead here and forces Luffy to to burn the meter on the Fireball FADC backdash. Whoa! Oh my gosh! Did you guys see that? Like, that was the first time that he even used meter like that. He totally stole this round here. Let's take another look at that and see exactly what happened. Gets the throw. Oh my gosh. Fireball FADC into crouching medium punch into spiral again here. Let's watch this and then let's see if I can recreate it. Oh my gosh. It was so sick. Okay, here, hold on. Let me set this guy to crouch. How did he do that? Oh, there we go. That's how he did it. Okay, he did light fireball, and I think this only worked because Geef was crouching. Wow, this is actually pretty hard. How did he do that? Wow, like none of that is comboing. How did he do that? Light fireball, FAD. Yeah. Did I do it? Oops. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. There we go. Wow. Okay, finally, after we tried for like 3 minutes, it works. Okay. Yeah, maybe he did hit it with the late active frames. Here, let's watch it again just to see.
Notable stuff, not caught enough to kill.
Crazy rage.
Yeah, I do plink my inputs.
Classic thing you think that Snake Eyes virtually never does. Bully his way in there.
When we talked about
Fireball, FADC backdash. Okay, here it comes.
that I'm learning about
Let's see when he did it. He did the throw.
burn meter even when you don't
Oh. It didn't. It doesn't actually look like he did it on Zangief's wake up. It looks like he waited a second and that Zangief hit a button. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think. Huh. Well, I mean, as we can see, it is possible to do. It's just hard. There we go. Jeez. That's the hard one to get. Okay, well, maybe it's not that hard. But it's still awesome that he was able to do that. Okay, let's keep going.
notable stuff, not caught enough to kill.
Right. Buddy PLSXD says, if you practice that combo 10 minutes every day, it's not that hard anymore. Yep, you're right. Yeah, there was no counter hit. Alright, so let's see. Okay, there we go. Forces him to use the EX screen hand to punish the fireball. Oh, what a tricky cross-up. Nice damage off to that. Crouching light kick into green hand option select. Now Luffy's really got to make something happen here. Otherwise he's going to lose this round. Okay, but he's keeping him in the corner, and you'll note. Oh yeah, see that's I would call that the Snake Eyes special. Whip crouching medium kick into SPD. Man, that's tough.
By that pile driver. Unbelievably smart, next level stuff from Snake Eyes.
Again, the key is that he doesn't use it a lot. You cannot keep using it because then it becomes an obvious tactic.
So yeah, Snake Eyes is working at a huge meter disadvantage. If Luffy throws a fireball, although Snake Eyes can EX Green Hand through it, it might not be worth it to spend the meter. But Luffy's not even giving him a chance to think about it. And he's getting a lot of mileage out of the crouching medium kick, which I guess he's buffering into EX Drill. Okay, let's look at that again.
He saves it for those moments that he really needs to get in. But when he has a read that the opponent is just playing that footsie game with no button touching game.
And that's what gets me to the point about why I would call Snake Eyes a
He's just got him at this perfect range where Geef is like tempted to jump, but he's not throwing a fireball. All of his normals are whiffing. Okay, throws. Okay, all right, wait. Hold on. Let's check real quick. Let's look at the frame data app. I wish I could stream from my phone. Okay. Okay, so special moves. We're looking at Zangief. EX Green Hand is +1 on hit and -9 on block. So let's look at this part again and rewatch exactly what happened. So he's got him at this really good range right here. Shoot, sorry about that.
And that's what gets me to the point about why I would call Snake Eyes a quote-unquote beautiful player.
So he throws him. Wait, let's see what happens. Throws fireball. EX green hand on hit. Okay. So, what does this mean? I don't know what Snake Eyes hit after that, but EX green hand is +1, and what would he have gone for after that? I don't know. I don't know what he would have gone for after that, but he hit something, and Rose hit crouching medium punch, crouching light punch, and then got the super.
Just play that footsie game with no luck touching game.
And that's what gets me to the point about
Gets
Tyler
throw.
being a quote-unquote beautiful player. So there are things that he can be used over and over again, such as maybe knockdown setups, maybe the vortex tricks. People sometimes get disappointed by those. Zangief gets
Yeah, who knows what he hit? But he hit something, and that gave Luffy the counter hit.
make those great decisions all the time and not having an autopilot kind of move to fall back on that creates beautiful play. Snake Eyes is all about it.
And I don't want to be a 200
All right.
Luffy. He can play very beautiful.
Oh,
But not going to be able
went for the 360. Now let's think about this for a second, right? I mean, went for the 720. All right, let's think about this. So, one situation earlier in the round, Snake Eyes does EX green hand, which is +1, and Luffy did crouching light punch into full super. Now, the second time, right here in this situation, Snake Eyes does green hand and then goes for ultra. Now, what this means is that he thought that he was going to hit a button. Okay, here, let's take a look. Okay, hold on. He did light punch, green hand. Now, let's look at the frame data on... let's look at the frame data. Okay, so light punch... light punch green hand is -2 on hit and -7 on block. So for it to be -2, you know, Geef has no frame advantage really. But if he does, basically, if Luffy would have hit any button, then 720 Zangief's ultra would have hit. So Luffy's only options in that situation were to jump back or backdash, which he did correctly. So Snake Eyes basically risked it all right there.
smart. Luffy knows that. Not going to waste the ultra to get it blocked. Oh!
Started was too slow.
But Luffy still with his likely here. All right, so that's a throw tech, so it might be setting up a forward dash in the stand forward again.
So now Zangief, you know, he burned his ultra, but it's still totally winnable. But you know, Luffy's just getting a lot of mileage out of all these whiff normals and not really letting Zangief play his game.
Finally, Luffy finds the counter to that low forward shenanigans from Snake Eyes.
And also keep in mind, both of these guys are pad players, and that's something interesting in my opinion, because I think Zangief players especially. Oh, he's out. I think Zangief players especially benefit from playing on pad, and we can talk all day about how, like, oh, you know, what stick do I use and all this stuff, but that doesn't really matter, because if you're playing Zangief, pad is by far the best way to do it, because it's actually easier to do 360s on pad versus stick, because on a stick you have your wrist just has to go around so far. It just has to cover a lot more distance than it does on the pad. Also, it might even be easier to make more precise movements on pad than it is on stick. Also, if you try a hitbox out, you'll notice that you can actually kind of tell when you're fighting a hitbox player when they play online, because of the way that they're able to just kind of almost like seizure back and forth, just like just going back and forth.
Unbelievable switch in styling from Snake Eyes.
Great stuff from Luffy to tech that throw.
What? He got him. He got him.
Whoa, this was absolutely incredible. Here, let's take another look at this. What happened right here? Look how much life Zangief has. He's got like a 30%? 25, 30%? Let's take a look and see what happens. Wow. He did fireball, FADC, backdash. And he did fireball, FADC, backdash. And Zangief got hit. Oh, I don't even have the right ultra. Hold on. Here, let me switch.
It's survival of the fittest.
Okay, how would I do this?
Who among the challengers will make it
Okay.
to the top?
I think I got it.
Training stage. Destination confirmed. Let's get started. Fight!
Okay. So we're gonna record Zangief to do EX Green Hand. Oops. Oops. Hold on. Oh, no. Let's start this over.
It's the battle of
How do we
the
do
century.
this?
Fight! Are you ready? Fight!
Wow. That was just like something.
Fight!
This is pretty hard to practice, man. I mean, how could he even practice this? Oh, okay. All right.
Let's get started.
Let's see if I can get it one more time. Wow. Pretty sick, man. For him, I don't think I've ever seen that before. So it was pretty sick to see. Snake Eyes was just like, okay, good shit. Oh man. Match point for Luffy. Snake Eyes out of meter. Baiting him to try to do green hand by doing the medium punch reflector. And you'll notice he doesn't even give him the chance after that medium punch to do a EX green hand if he was to do fireball. There's that that ambiguous empty jump low short again that we saw before. Wow, so much damage by Snake Eyes. But he is out of meter, so he is gonna be forced to take a lot of blocked hits walking forward, which allows Luffy to get quite a lot of meter out of it. Now at this point, if he can get him to burn a meter on his EX green hand, it didn't work out. But at least if he could have got him to do that, and then he dies, then Zangief starts the third round with no meter, which would allow Rose to set up her fireball game a little bit. But you'll see that even with all this meter, he's just going to... Okay, now he's out of bar. So now we'll see if he starts to throw fireballs. Oh, no. Big damage right there. Now this is exactly where Zangief wants Rose. He's not going to be able... Okay, see, this is where I think things went kind of downhill for Luffy in this particular game, because now... Even though he has full super, he doesn't... I mean, full ultra, he doesn't have full super anymore. So he's not going to be able to FADC backdash. And it really didn't change a lot for him. I mean, he did get some damage from it, but it's just really not enough to save him. And yeah, that's just not going to work right there. So Snake Eyes ties it up. Now it's match point for both players. One of these guys is going home. And yeah, Snake Eyes definitely knew this match from playing Filipino Man a lot. here in SoCal.
Chasing the backdash once again. This time now that
Let's
Vanilla
see.
was
Doesn't go for the fireball. Instead gets. Oh no! Dashes the wrong direction. He thought that that splash was gonna cross him up.
goes forward for the restart.
Luffy's definitely got a lot of ground to make up here. But he is getting a lot of mileage out of all these block normals, which is helping him build quite a lot of bar. It is risky. It really is risky to do sweep because if Zangief jumps at the same time, he can just land an ultra, and that would be the end of Rose. You see right there, he was hoping that he would green hand so that he could FADC backdash into ultra like in the last round. Burns all his bar. He burned his bar on two. Wow. He was down last game, last round against Snake Eyes. Look at Luffy. Dude, he's got the solution though. But Snake Eyes, you know, he learned, I mean, that Fireball FADC backdash into Ultra 1 left a permanent scar in Snake Eyes' brain, which is why he didn't do it either of the two times that Luffy threw the Fireball FADC backdash. But, you know, Rose just builds bars so quickly, especially if Zangief keeps walking forward and he has to block. Oh, there we go. Now let's say, okay, hold on. Let's take a look. Before we go any further, you know, Luffy just got a fair amount of damage off of blocking both Zangief's regular green hand, light green hand, and EX green hand. So let's look at that real quick. So EX green hand is +1 on hit and -9 on block. And so something that's -9 on block, you can actually get a fair amount of damage out of because it's pretty easy to punish. So, oops. Let's set him to EX green hand. And let's see, well, what could Luffy have really done in this situation aside from just block?
Oh, great challenge by Luffy.
Yeah, he is not going down without a fight. He's not going to sit there and get a pile drive. He is swinging at everything that Snake Eyes has, and that's going to get punished.
Okay, so he did have 3 bars. He had 3 bars after that. Let's see what we can done. Okay, so he could have done down fierce drill for 210. Oops. Whoops. Down fierce EX drill for 230. Crouching medium punch into drill. Oops, I did that wrong. 203. That's still kind of a lot that can go wrong. But this is definitely something to practice. I guess if you wanted to spend the bar, you could also go do something like this. Oops. Whoop. There's definitely a lot that can go wrong. He could have done that. That would have used up a lot of bar. Oops. See, in this situation, there's so much that can go wrong. I think that would have been max punish. But look, you can see how much can go wrong. You know, I mean, I'm hitting it here in training mode, but you know, would you risk that? Would you risk any of this when you're on stage for top 8 and losers at Evo? You know, I mean, there is a lot to be said for getting that much damage, 337 versus 140, right? But you're not going to mess up the throw. So it's really not worth it, in my opinion, to go for anything super fancy like that, because so much can go wrong. And you know, you never want to burn your bar too quickly, because as we look at this particular instance, right, Zangief has no bar. Rose has a lot of meter, and she's going to need it for the next round.
On tilt here, says, I got a round to give, and I'm going to go crazy. This is tough. He doesn't have a lot of rounds to give.
So, you know, she's very dangerous. You know, Zangief can now EX Green Hand through it. Oh, missed it.
Okay, and we are down to the final round.
Snake Eyes knows he threw that one away. Let's see if he can.
All right, so here we go. Last game, last round.
Who is it going to be? Incredible match going right down
Oh, what happened?
the wire.
Okay, so now wow, look at how much damage he's taken. But Luffy does have quite a, wow, he's down over half life. Oh my gosh.
Rose has a super and an ultra available, so
It's terrifying.
Zangief can no longer jump.
Oh, he missed his SPD right there. That would have worked.
Still showing a lot of pep here.
Fireball. Fireball. Oh my gosh. Burned 2 bars on that backdash. Caught him with the throw though. Got that nice chunk of gray health right there. Oh my god. How did that even happen? The range on that. I wonder if Snake Eyes knew that that was going to whiff. But either way, Rose is not totally out yet because even though her ultra's gone, she does have full bar. All she needs is a few more openings, and she can, if she gets down fierce, down crouching medium punch into drill into super, like that's going to be it.
Still fighting that standing roundhouse pressure. Snake Eyes doesn't want to bite. Ow, get
Nice. The footsies on this guy.
that's going to put him on his heels in danger zone.
Coming down to the wire. Wow. That, oh my gosh.
Slowly dancing away.
Now, at this situation, he is within chip damage range. But it didn't even matter. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let me switch characters and see if I can find the range at which Zangief can do jumping heavy punch and beat Rose's Ultra One.
Training stage. The stage of battle is set.
It's like, people talk about the Japanese and they like to, the most honorable things to play honorably. Maybe
The battle has begun. Fight!
very dull, explosive victory. The evolution
Try this on for size. Illusion spark.
even better. Ties. I don't want ties, I want awesome. And that's what this strategy is for.
Try this on for size. Illusion spark.
Oh shit.
It's the battle of the century. Fight!
Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Try this on for size. Try this on for size. Illusion spark. 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 Try this on for size. Illusion.
There we go. Gosh, I wish. Oh my gosh, how do I even?
Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Try this on for size.
Okay, so he already had to have been in the air.
Try this on for size. Illusion spark.
That's the only way that could have traded.
Try this on for size. Illusion spark.
But from that range, Rose gets him. Let me see if I can throw the fireball.
Soul spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark.
Okay, thank you.
Soul spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Soul spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Soul spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Soul spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark. Soul spark. Try this on for size. Illusion spark.
Well, anyways, obviously it's very difficult to replicate, which just goes to show what an intense finals moment that was. Anyways, I am going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in a few minutes. And let me know if we should just go through Sagat. You know what? I'm just gonna go straight to the grand finals match with Bonchan versus Luffy, because we already went through the Fei Long versus Rose match with Gak versus Luffy, because we're running out of time here. Because I got about 25 minutes left. Anyways, guys, sit tight, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, guys, we are back. Thank you for joining me here on the Brady Games the Brady Games Twitch channel. If you like what you see, please hit the follow button. You can follow Brady Games here on Twitch as well as on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Gootecks. Let us know what you want to see more of. So anyways, if you guys are just joining us, we're going through some of Luffy's matches here in top 8 from EVO 2014 this past weekend on his road to becoming world champion with Rose. How crazy is that? So the next match that we're going to take a look at is, briefly at least, is, because we're running out of time, is Rose versus Fei Long, played by Fudo. Let's take a look. And if you guys have been paying attention, you know that Luffy is basically a certified Fei Long killer. He beat Gact, he beat Mago, he beat a couple other Fei Long dudes, I believe, on the way. I would credit Luffy knowing the Rose match so well, the Fei Long match so well, because he's fought Starnav so many times over in France. All right. Wow, nice damage right there. So So last time, he was fighting Gak, and Gak really didn't know the match at all. But from watching this, Fudo actually knows it a little bit better. Oh, there we go. There we go. So if you guys didn't catch what Fudo was doing right there compared to what everybody else is doing, is that, and let's watch that again. Most people, when Rose activates orbs, here we go, activate, they tend to back up. Like, for example, if you guys remember when we were going through the match of Momochi versus Luffy, last time in that match, Momochi basically would just back away. And there was one round in particular, where Luffy was backed up in the corner here, Momochi was here, and he basically, once he activated, he was able to slide his way and push Momochi all the way back to his own corner. That's basically the exact wrong thing of what you want to do when Rose activates orbs. So instead, let's take a closer look at what Fudo is doing. So you see right here, he activates. Fudo doesn't have a lot of life left, but the thing is that Rose orbs really don't do that much damage. One. Yeah. See, so it really doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but Fudo was pretty consistent with the way that he was acting, in the way that he was reacting when Rose would activate orbs. It's so frustrating as a Rose player to deal with a guy who just walks forward and then blocks one of the orbs. It's really hard to deal with. And yeah, Fudo was basically the only one that did that.
That is correct.
Maybe he was thinking that Fudo was going to try to draw out a desperation ultra in between.
Another nasty looking combo. Slowly away.
Nice. Nice. Let's take a look. Let's take a closer look at that.
Low strong in this soul battle, not a shoe block straight.
That is correct.
Maybe he was thinking that Fudo was going to try to draw out a desperation ultra in between.
Another nasty looking combo.
Let's see. He's gonna block this Rekka. Wow. He thought he was gonna hit a button. Let's take a look at that. Sometimes Fei Long will just continue to throw out the Rekka. Oops. Actually, let's take a closer look and see. Let's look at the Fei Long frame data, and we can see. Okay, so looking at the frame data, if you do Light Punch Rekka, the third hit is minus 19. If you do Heavy Rekka, the third hit is minus 23. And if you do Light and Medium third hit Rekkas are minus 19, and Heavy and EX Rekka are minus 23 on block. So basically what that means is that, and actually we can just take a look at Rose's, let's look at all of Rose's moves. I highly doubt that any of Rose's moves have a startup longer than like 8 frames or 9 frames. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so crouching heavy has a 5 frame startup. All right, yeah, I was way off. So basically, like, this is actually pretty easy. That's super easy to punish. So I think Fudo was just unsure. He just thought that that Luffy was gonna hit a button, of which he did not. Yes. Shake that fist, Luffy. Cheering for you. All right, let's see. Pretty convincing first game. But at least Fudo knows that if Rose activates orbs, that you should just walk forward. Empty jump completely makes the crouching heavy punch completely whiff. But of course, you know, Fei Long wants Rose in the corner. She has no easy way to get out of the corner. She's got no uppercut. Her oh wow, hold on, let's look at that again. Okay, she blocks the second hit of the Rekka, and she's able to punish because the startup of the crouching heavy punch is 5. Okay, here comes. 1, 2. Wow. Okay, here, hold on. Let me try that. Hold on. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the frame data. You can check out the Brady Games, the official Brady Games Ultra Street Fighter 4 frame data app on both iOS and Android. I'm using it right now. Okay, let's take another look at Fei Long. Okay, so the second hit of the Rekka, if it's light punch, is -8. If it's medium punch, it's -10, and if it's heavy punch, it's -12. But if it's EX, it's only -1. So let's say that here, let me do this again. Let's put Rose in the corner, put Fei Long right here. 2 hits Rekka blocked. Huh. Wow. So either okay, maybe I just suck. Okay, yeah, that's pretty easy. But I think if you're standing a little bit further away, then it's harder to punish. Yeah, see, like he had to be way up there. Yeah. Okay, so that means that as long as you're close, you can punish the second hit of Rekka with basically anything with Rose. Good blocks there by Luffy. And then he tries a reversal with the Rekka. Gets an orb to his face for his troubles. Now spends. Wow! Look at how far Luffy's actually brought him back to half screen when he was completely backed away in the corner. With only one orb, he was able to walk his way out of the corner like that. But you know, Fudo puts him back in the corner. Okay, so there we go. Second hit of that EX Rekka is -1. And wow, that's hard. Wow. These guys are just hitting buttons. All right, so now you know, Luffy's got all this super. Now you'll see. You remember last time we were talking about when he was fighting Gact. He was in a similar position where he backed through, and then Fei Long had super. I mean, had 2 bars and ultra, but he didn't attack. In that situation, he also didn't put himself at risk again. Now let's take a hold on. I want to watch. Let's see how he landed this super again. Safe. Pretty safe. Okay. Now, this is the situation I was talking. He gets the back throw, and now he has a life lead. Fei Long almost has ultra, but he doesn't yet. It wouldn't be that risky to go in, but you'll see that Luffy doesn't even put himself in a situation at which he could guess wrong. He just throws a fireball and then backdashes, and then resets the situation. So smart. Now let's see how he hits this ultra. I mean, the super. Wow. He caught him whiffing a throw. He did slide. He did slide when he jumped in, and Fei Long blocked. Here it is. Slide. Whiff throw. Wow. Let's see how hard that was. I'm so curious now. Whoops. Got me. Yeah. That's pretty easy. So the thing is also, the other thing that you guys should know about Rose's hop kick, which is the close medium, is that it's basically instant off the ground. It's off the ground in like 1 frame or something like that. So if they try to grab at the same time that you do hop kick, then you're going to be in the air and they're going to get hit. Which is why it was easy for him to do hop kick, crouching medium punch, drill into super. So now let's go back to the match and see what he does. Okay, so now you'll see that he backs up as far away as possible, doesn't even try to attack him. This is, of course, the 2011 world champion, Fudo is. And let's see how he finishes off this round. Safe, yeah. But, well, okay, so it's -1. Remember, the EX rack of the second hit is -1. So Fudo must have hit a button after that. Alright, so match point for Luffy. Puts him in the corner. Let's see what he does. Nothing. Just to see what he would do, I guess. Alright, now let's see. He activates as soon as he gets his Ultra 2. Puts him back in the corner. Fudo does not hold his ground here. Gets thrown. Pretty almost even on life right here. Almost even on meter. Smart move. Okay, now he's got the lead back again. Now he's almost in the corner. Oh! Gets it down fierce. If he can get another... Oh, wow. Okay, he finally got the crouching medium kick into EX drill option select that he's been going for. He's just buffering the crouching medium kick into ultra. I mean, excuse me, into EX drill. Here. There it is. There it is again. There it is, finally. So on the 3rd time, he finally hit it. Okay, here, let's see. Let's see if we can recreate this situation. Okay, so Fei Long is doing... Oops. There we go. So Fei Long is doing crouching medium punch, which is one of his best pokes. And Rose is going like this. You see what I'm doing right there. You see the kick buttons. I'm doing crouching medium kick, and then I'm buffering into the EX Soul Spiral. Oops. So what ends up happening is that the Soul Spiral won't come out if you do it properly unless it makes contact with Fei Long. So what this does is that you can stand at max range. I keep messing it up, but... And you can stand here and you can safely do crouching medium kick, and you'll know that unless it makes contact with Fei Long, then it's not going to come out. So that means that you can safely do this without having to worry about accidentally throwing it out or burning a bar on doing your EX drill unless it actually connects. So he stands here. See, I'm doing the same motion, but it only comes out if it actually makes contact. Otherwise nothing comes out. So that's called an option select. So anyways, that's like a simple buffer that you can do. A lot of characters have that. Let's go back to the match.
Great completion. Wow. He's really not allowing Fudo to dictate the pace of the match. He's swinging at him.
Ooh, Fudo gets the lucky EX Rekka. Alright, so still match point for Luffy. Oh no, that one hurts. Lost a lot of life on that botched focus attack. Wow. The tides have turned so quickly. And you can see right there he's baiting out the medium punch reflect. And there you go. Finally, somebody punishes his crouching medium punch into fireball. Because it's not a true block string, and it is pretty easy for Fei Long to reversal ultra. And there you see he walks forward and blocks one of the orbs right there. Whoa! What just happened? Let's take a look at that again. How did he steal this round? Look, he's got a lot of meter. He activates. Fudo walks forward, smartly blocks one of the orbs. Walks forward, gets hit. Walks forward, blocks. He's just so... Whoa. And then he just does it again. Oh my gosh. 3 EX Soul Spirals. So smart. This is why you want to have the meter advantage with Rose. Because you never know what you're going to need that meter for. Now, I think at this point, Fudo's definitely got to be on tilt after that. He was so close to taking that round. Okay. Delayed get up. Oh, smart read by Fudo. Reads the delayed get up correctly and then gets the empty jump after the cross up. Now this is exactly where Fei Long wants Rose. Okay, so now he activates. Now let's see what Fudo walks forward, blocks again, smart. Now he's walking back again. Oh, not very smart. The reason that he does the EX Chicken Wing is because the EX Chicken Wing is projectile invincible and the orbs count as projectiles. Okay, so now he's doing the slide into throw. Oh, he just flipped over him with the chicken wing. Is this going to be it? Oh my gosh, so clutch. That was insane. Let's watch that again. Okay. All right, so Fudo's winning, but Luffy is working on a full bar, and you'll see that he slides, throws again, because if you guys remember, last time that he did that, he did slide when Fudo jumped, and then did hop kick, and Fudo went for the grab. And then he did hop kick, crouching medium punch into drill super. So it's like he's trying to condition him to go for the throw, which he did. But it didn't matter because he did the chicken wing and then eats the super. Now let's see again. Fudo has full... Oh my gosh, that time he went for the kill. Remember how before I was talking about how against Gak and against Luffy, against Gak and against Fudo, once he got the life lead, if they had meter, like 2 bars and ultra, Luffy would not even go in and try to kill him. In this situation, he had almost 2 bars, but not quite, and Luffy was so close to winning the round and eliminating him, because remember, he was up 2 games and a round, so he really had nothing to lose by going for the kill right there. So it's very smart of him in that instance to use the super and then use the fireball. Here, let's rewind. He used the fireball to here, let's watch this again. So he backs away, he jumps, he's gonna slide when he jumps and then go for the throw. And Fudo's gonna tech, slide, tech, chicken wing, because he was just guessing he was going to throw a fireball. Now he's far away. Look at that. He's far enough away when he does the He's far enough away when he does the fireball. Watch, he backs up, backdash, fireball, and then he dashes in twice so that he's up in Fei Long's face when he recovers from block stun. Check this out. Oh, so sick. And look at Fudo's meter. He didn't have 2 bars, so it was safe of him to do it. He would have had to have risked the whole thing and just done raw uppercut with that much life, because he wouldn't have been able to FADC forward or backdash. Okay. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we are out of time. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, we're out of time. So, I guess maybe next time we'll get to Bonchan, which was grand finals. This actually took a lot more time. We spent a lot of time going through these matches. So, what I would like you guys to do is, if you liked what you saw tonight, then please follow Brady Games here on Twitch by clicking the follow button right there. And also, you can follow Brady Games on Twitter. That doesn't work. Yeah, it's Brady_Games. Hit them as well as myself on Twitter, and let us know what you want to see for next time. So, thank you for watching. My name is Gootecks. If you like what I do, then you can follow me on the Cross Counter TV page on Twitch. Okay, well, you're just gonna twitch.tv/crosscountertv. I'm streaming pretty regularly now. But yeah, we're out of time. So thank you guys. Please hit the follow button. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you later. Later, guys.